Oh, download. I can download it. That's cool. Uh-oh, does it crash? I almost lost the stream there. I had to p-kill ffmpeg in order to acquire the stream back. But the reason why it crashed is because there's a hotkey bug. So if I press Windows 1, it goes to the window. If the window doesn't exist, or if I think the state, whatever's keeping the state of the window, it's probably just like a vector or something, or the hotkeys. That might be getting out of order or getting holes. So whatever the fix is, it's probably some type of seg fault that's happening. I'm pretty sure it is a seg fault. I think there's just maybe a null pointer access. Although it's C++, I'm not really using null pointers, so I don't know what's going on. I say it's C++, I'm not really using null pointers. I mean, specifically for this section of code. When I first wrote HackMatrix, I used a sort of a raw C style for like raw pointers. But this is a vibes stream, not a technical chat stream, so let's get some vibes, I guess. So I have been listening to a lot of jazz lately. The Super Homestead. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn this on. Do they talk a lot? I like homesteads. So I'm going to turn this on in the background here. Let that run. That feels like vibes. Okay, so the next thing to do, I think, is to get some music on. So let's go to YouTube Music on my phone. You can't see this. And I am going to search, thinking about what I want to search here. Oh, I was about to play copyrighted music on the stream. That would have been bad. I can't do that. That's very interesting. But I can do like copyright-free Harvest Moon, royalty-free Harvest farm music or something. I don't really want like farm music. Let's see what this is like. That is so bad. Yeah, I don't want farm music. Stardew Valley. But I want something that's friendly for my stream. Stardew Valley stream music. Here we go. I don't don't like that music at all. I hope this doesn't get my stream taken down. Or what it would do is it would mute my stream, which would not be fun. Let's do Stardew Valley royalty-free music. Okay, this is a lot better, I think. This has a Minecraft background. You can't see it because it's on my phone, but... Okay. So what are we doing today on stream? It's a vibe stream. So I'm actually going to plaster over move a bit. I can't. Okay, so these houses have the same sort of vibe as like Philadelphia, although it does have some like very strong mountain country vibes as well, which is appreciated. One of the things that I found striking, I've only been through Pittsburgh once. I just drove through the city, just the interstate. Was just how mountainous it was. Grand View Overlook. It felt like I was driving, I don't know, like in just a mountainside. Anyways. Trying to find a good view for the chill vibe stream. Maybe good urbanism is vibes enough. Or good architecture. I don't know how this bridge makes me feel, but I kind of want to keep it open. I can actually model this. This thing looks goofy. Look at the spikes on it. That would actually be something really interesting to model. And then I think I can answer chat via my phone. Just pull up the stream on my phone. It may have crashed. Oh no, it's live. It has not crashed. Earl00_I says, I'm having a headache setting up a Hyperland VM and you're here with a whole ass game. Yeah. I said I want to make a game. And I also said I don't want to leave the game to work on the game. And so, yo dog, I heard you like games, so I put your game inside a game, or your engineering VS Code inside a, I don't know. Comported Box is amazing, says hi. Hello. Earl00_I or L says, what kind of things can you do in the 3D area? Like, could you add an emulator and an arcade machine? So when you say that, I actually have two thoughts. The first is that you are the Anarchy arcade guy. And so if that's the case, then that's cool. Hello. It's a cool product. If not, if you aren't the Anarchy arcade guy, then I'm not experienced with Anarchy Arcade, but I have seen it. I'm not really big into arcade stuff. I do like arcades. There's one in New York that it is across from the dog board and daycare facility. It's like a bar / arcade. It's on 34th Street, I think. Maybe a bit lower, like 30th. I think 34th is probably too high. Maybe it's like 23rd or 26th or something. It's near the Union Square Park, I think. Or it's actually near the Flatiron Building. I think it might even be on the same street as the Flatiron Building. Anyways, it's a cool arcade. I just don't go to them very often. There's a cool one in New York and a cool one in St. Louis. The one in St. Louis has pizza. So I've been riding my bike through my mountain town, and I've seen a lot of houses that are sort of painted in this color scheme that have these metal roofs that sort of have a similar architectural vibe to this, except it has also some like Philadelphia style like urban block design as well, because it's in a city. It's just in a very mountainous city. If I were this guy and I had all of these solar panels, I would probably use them as part of my roof, just because my roof is kind of leaky. Oh man, this guy's house is it's pretty tall. It's a lot taller than I expected. So you guys can't see it, and maybe I can turn on the webcam so you can. This part of the process that I'm going through, even though this is a vibe stream, I'm going to do some work. I have a USB stick in my hand, and I have a not a third party. I have a sort of PC box. I don't know what you call these. The Intel version is called the NUC. I can go look that up. I'll keep this open because it is a vibe stream, and I will probably model that in Magic of Voxel before I stop the stream. So let's take a look at the computer that I'm going to get the newest, or the first HackMatrix distro live USB running on bare metal, I guess is what you would call that. I'm going to get it running, or the raw image has already ran in an emulator. Kemu. Now I'm just going to boot it onto a machine. And in order to do that on stream, I think I have to do it through like another laptop or something, or this NUC. Or it's not a NUC, it's an HackMatrix PC. So it's like a maybe Japanese or Chinese knockoff sort of Intel NUC. Is sort of what I got out of it. I'm using as a mouse pad right now an unsanded down sort of raw plank of cedar wood that I got like a ton of this stuff, like literally a ton, sap and all. I have like a triple Booker size ball of sap that just I removed from my mouse pad and is now on my hand. Anyways, so the mouse is kind of sticking to the mouse pad. It's not in the sap, but it's getting caught on the burrs that have not been sanded down. See, I wish I had a camera so I could show this hilariousness. Okay, so the HackMatrix is... I've thought about selling these branded as HackMatrix devices. So mine doesn't cost $639. I think mine is more in the like $300 price range. So it's a little low end, but it's the type of machine that I think would work well for HackMatrix 3D. For just like standard like developer work stuff. So I thought about just installing HackMatrix onto one of these, marking it up like $50 or $100, and then selling it. And then that would give citizenship to the MMO civilization. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to sort of distribute that, but I'm going to consider, I don't know, membership as like a one-time like purchase of the MMO basically, or of a distro, and then that gives you like citizenship. That's kind of the idea. This is a vibe stream, so I'm not really going to go into the financials too much here. But this is the machine that I have, the K1 with a Ryzen 5. So it's perfectly capable of running HackMatrix, and that's what I'm going to test. Maybe test the ISO, the live USB on. Otherwise, I'll have to shut down the laptop, and then I won't be able to do it on stream. Or I'll have to do the stream from my phone. So I'm not sure which one of those I want to do. So the idea or the vibe for the MMO that I'm sort of going for is sort of a green, organic, biological, cybernetic, holistic, sort of engineering architecture perspective to, I guess, simulating environments that are conducive to learning and interacting with people socially, or doing cool things, maybe like a sort of university or hackathon environment. Which brings me to Pittsburgh, which has CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, which is one of the best universities for technology, software. And I like the city to the extent that I've driven through it. I've just driven on the interstate, but I pulled up this, as I was sort of moving through the map, pulled up this sort of, I don't know, arch gate thing on one of these bridges. I thought it was really cool. And so I was going to model it, but we can have this sort of represent the entrance to our CMU-like university MMO setting or something, or maybe one of those do not enter gates that you put at the front of your roller coaster tycoon park and make sure your guests don't leave. Welcome to the HackMatrix MMO. That's a joke. That's the meta MMO. That's a joke too. Kind of. I'm not sure if meta fully realizes the type of, corporate capture that people are both afraid of and just in general don't want, and that meta is like sort of participating in. I think virtual spaces probably will become more like civilization itself in a way. By that I mean have like freedom of association and laws and rights, and not corporate dictatorships. More democratic things, especially as AI comes about. All right, I'm going to now look at some more comments. Earl00_I says, I have no idea what you're doing or anything about Anarchy Arcade. I'm just amazed at what you're doing. Thank you. A lot of potential. Yeah, thank you. I think it's a cool project. Is it an app or a full-on OS? So right now it is a window manager, and so it has to run as a window manager, or as a Wayland app under X. So right now it's billed as a 3D Linux desktop environment and game engine. But that includes the cave that we're in, a smaller version of the cave. It includes this courtyard in the back of the cave. So originally that courtyard was the size of the cave basically, and there was a door that led out to it, and the hackers were like as tall as the door almost, like it was a very small cave, very claustrophobic. And then the water and the giant lamppost, which is sort of recursive to the small lamppost. It was an accident to do that, but I thought it was funny, so it's included for now. The temple, the water, has historically and will be sailboats that move on these waters. I'm actually a captain, I guess. The Coast Guard has called me a captain before. It was actually a bad situation because my boat got into a wreck basically. But I was anchored just in a place I shouldn't have been anchored at. So anyways, back to the MMO, sailing, and so the open source stuff just has the basic demo environment, and I'm now, because it's a game engine, making a sort of game that is also a distro out of it. I think the marketing model I'm going for right now is kind of weird, and I'm selling a distro as a game, which is very strange, but we used to sell things that were sort of software operating systems. By that I mean like video games would use libraries for like the old ROM cartridge days, but they wouldn't have an OS, and so they would just sort of like use the underlying machine instructions to draw the pixels as they wish, and then they also maybe sort of wrote their own operating system like functions. And over time obviously OS is developed. But I kind of like the idea of like a self-contained like ROM that just boots into like the entire software stack for the system you're running, and so that would necessitate a full Linux environment. And we do have that with Go, or not with Go, but with Docker, which is Go, written in Go. So this fully orchestrates, I mean, it's almost as prolific as GitHub at this point in time. But this sort of encapsulates the idea, encapsulates, almost what I said, contains the idea that I have about shipping this game, except graphics, pass-through graphics don't really work with Docker. They don't work very well with QEMU in a way that's sustainable. To me, the simplest and maybe the most fun distribution platform is a distro, actually, like a distro, selling distros as opposed to like, hey, here's my Linux-only Steam game that you can buy, or like, here's my Linux-only itch game. If I sell it as a distro, then it's sort of expected that you somewhat know what you're doing, like you know how to dual boot, so you can solve some of the technical challenges that the game will present. And that will give me sort of a bias towards like hacker type people that would play the game. How does this work with gaming / full screen apps? So nothing, I control what apps sizes are and like what their boundaries are and such. So full screen games do not come in full screen. So here's Minecraft. This is probably just a good example. So this Minecraft window, for some reason, is actually naturally this size, I think. Maybe this is an old version of HackMatrix, actually, or like a... That would be very surprising. I thought I fixed a bug where this is a wine game. You have to use a Windows emulator to run Minecraft. And some wine games are coming in with like too small of a window. And so if Minecraft comes in with a normal size window, that bug is fixed, and this is just a weird case. But it might be the case that Minecraft comes in with a small window, and my work to fix the wine bug was either reverted or broke. Alright, Minecraft, where did you go? Okay. Okay, it's normal size. I don't know, so the window manager is... What? Yes. So everything in the game is pretty much full speed, I think. But there's no like real notice. Whoa. Oh, that was gravel. I was like, what the heck just happened? Okay, so there isn't much lag. Right now, so Wayland, I think I've said this like probably 5 times on the stream since porting to Wayland. But the Wayland will allow me to eventually like look at the app like this, but have access to the mouse, and then be able to like go back to game and play the game, and then switch between movement mode and like control mode, and be able to pass controls to whatever my mouse is on. So I can compose a window like that, and then like, let's see how I do this. So I want a window that's like an acute angle. So maybe this. I need a sort of better positioner. There's a lot of window manager stuff that I want to improve here. Right now I'm sort of working on an MMO experience, but the window manager stuff definitely needs to be added. So imagine this window here on the left is closer to this window here on the right, And so I would be able to unpause the game and then like play the game from the same distance. Be able to interact with the game here and then swap between the two in 3D. And that would, I could set that up such that like there's easy tiling sort of hotkeys. So like you can snap a window to like here or to like here, so it can like emulate i3 on a 2D plane, or like you can emulate i3 but like maybe rotate your windows, or there's a lot of things that I could do that could make it feel like a proper 2D desktop environment, while simultaneously keeping all of the 3D stuff. But right now, it's just perpendicular windows that you have to focus directly. But it has ran pretty high quality graphics inside this system pretty much since the beginning. So I played Minecraft and Morrowind on the Intel NUC version on an integrated GPU. It was running those games. So what armor do I need? I need a and an A. So it's a chest. So grab that. And then pants. I don't think the copper does very much. Whoa. What does that do? That puts it up as a shield. I don't know how to use it as a shield though. Anyways, let's put the pants on. Am I already wearing... Oh. Dang, dude. No, I needed boots. Oh well, I have plenty of iron. Or copper. This stuff's really easy to get. If it was iron, I would be pretty upset, but... Plus I already have enough. I think I'm more upset about my inventory space here. Where are the boots? There we go. Whoops. What are you looking at, bro? I'm looking at you, dog. What about the temple over there? Yeah, that's a pretty cool temple. What about the Gen 2 over there, huh? Huh? You like that neo-fetch? New. I don't know why I typed new. You could have like a whole like inter-networked cross, what do they call that? Cross universe, or I forget what they call it, but like when there's a crossover of various shows and superheroes or stuff, you have like crossover with AIs controlling like various characters and various like simulations and games and environments and stuff, and you bring them all together to a council, and they all like the AIs like chat to each other and shit. They're like, oh, take a look at the world we're building over in HackMatrix, and look at that terminal over there, and then they're like chatting about shit. I think it would make a funny skit. So you set these AI agents up in like Windows, and you just have them like know what the position in HackMatrix is, and so you can like have them like all look at each other in 3D space, and then you can just like sit there and watch them do it from like, I don't know. It sounds hilarious to do that from another game. From like if you just like sub Minecraft people to do that. I think it's the meta-ness of it, the crossover of it. If there was another game where you could control a character as easily as this, either with mouse movement or some other movement, then you can pull up that character and then have cross-game interactions for artistic skits in HackMatrix. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Alright. A horse's butt. That's hilarious. Perfect timing there. Carnegie Mellon. We're in the manure shack now. This is not what I had in mind when I thought of homesteading. There we go. Let's take a look at chat. How do you build areas and assets? Do you have a player character? So many questions about this project. You'd give GPT an NPC you have to go talk to. Yeah, something like that. So I thought about having NPCs interact with terminals. There's a YouTube video of that mechanic. Actually, I think down here is probably a good place for that, since this actually isn't the window I thought it was. So it's not a good place for it, but I'll use it anyways. So there is a video, it's probably in popular. Yeah, this one. Okay, this actually isn't it. But you can see that there's like a transparent window. And so I thought of having like maybe little like GPT-based chatbots that you interact with via terminal, or maybe even codecs. So you could have like a whole codecs flow that is just like you interacting with these NPCs that like solve problems and stuff in your game or something. I don't know exactly. I was just sort of making stuff up off the top of my head when I was talking about the GPT skits. It sounded pretty fun. Anyways, this is a cool, I don't know what you would call it, maybe a program selector or something. In 3D as opposed to 2D. So this is selecting my default IDE, because when you, like, if I were to walk up to the key, or it used to be the case that if I were to zoom off to this key over here and click it, it would back me up and then open up an editor, like KittyTurn, and then depending on what editor I selected, and then it would open the script for the object, and then when I closed it, it would run the script. And so, like, if I had a closed key script, or an open door script, I could click on the key and then run the script, and then it would open the door and unlock the door. So, in a similar mechanic, or not in a similar mechanic, but in a supporting mechanic, you had to be able to select or I wanted people to be able to select what IDE they can use. So there was the select IDE NPC, and it would just give you, do you want to use Emacs, VS Code, Emacs. So I think it's a really cool mechanism for, I guess, making selections for apps, or making selections of anything, I guess. It's just got these, It really, I wanted to offer a Pokemon-like experience. So if you consider like your, your IDE to be your special breed of evolved creature, then you get to choose which base creature you want to sort of create your more refined IDE monster into, or from. That was kind of the idea of that. And then you had a question about modeling. So I'll actually do that right now. I'll get into some modeling. So like I said, I wanted to build this bridge. So now, since that question came up, it's probably a good time to do that. So the first thing is I need a backing terminal. So what I mean by that is I usually have, this is a backing terminal, but this is actually backing the stream itself. But a backing terminal is just like I need to run a complex command. I don't have a means to do that. I don't have any clickable object that will open the program for me. I don't have that mechanism actually doesn't even exist yet, but it will. I can't open it in D menu. I have to open up a terminal to do this. And specifically, the command I'm talking about is the wine magic of voxel. Line magic of voxel. And then I do sleep 3 or 2, so that will give me time to back up a bit, and so I can have a backing terminal.
Let's see. You give GPT. Oh, okay, where is it? Earl00_I says, so a backing terminal is what you get when you open, say, Firefox from a terminal. Like, is the terminal running the thing? Yep.
That's sort of a name I just gave it, but it does describe sort of what happens in my workflows. And so this one specifically, this is a backing terminal for the stream. So if I were to, like, in this case, I would like start the stream and then back up and then look to see that the stream has loaded and is working properly. So it just gives you some like more control over the way that you open your programs, and then you can also see like your debug info. So it's kind of a fun way to actually, it's a very interesting way to actually run a program. You have pretty much all of your standard output in the terminal, just directly behind the app that you're using. So anyways, I'm going to, like I said, make the bridge. And so I'm actually going to try to find the hotkeys for these apps. So the bridge is 3. Now, hotkeys are